Vitali Klitschko. Winky Wright also going in. And also joining this weekend, El Terrible from Tijuana, Eric Morales. Our co-feature on the left, Daquan Pauldo. On the right, Travell Mazion. Mazion, the undefeated fighter. Two up-and-comers. Interesting matchup that we will have as Golden Boy puts up two of their prospects together. And let's go to the tell of the tape presented by Tecate. Obviously, the height difference is what Mazion has tonight, JoJo.
Yeah, Mazion has a height difference, and he is a lot taller, too, and he has a 2-inch reach advantage. But I don't know if that's going to be a key factor because Daquan likes to fight on the inside, but I like to see if Travell likes to box now because he does, in previous fights, he does like to bang on the inside as well and likes to knock out his opponents.
Our ring announcer, Mark Frado.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Verona, New York, and Turning Stone Resort Casino. This is Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN, the Hall of Fame Weekend Edition. Buenas noches, damas y caballeros, y bienvenidos a Verona, New York, Turning Stone Resort Casino para boxeo con Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, ESPN y ESPN Deportes. Our co-featured contest is scheduled for 8 rounds in the super welterweight division. It's brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and Hennessy, never stop, never settle. The judges for this contest are Eric Marlinsky, John McKay, and Kevin Morgan. And controlling the action at the sound of the bell, the referee in charge is Charlie Fish. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 153 pounds even. He owns an impressive professional record consisting of 17 victories against 1 defeat, 9 wins by way of knockout. Wearing maroon with black, a native of Pine Hills, Orlando, Florida. Please welcome King Daquan Pauldo. His undefeated opponent fights across the ring out of the red corner. He weighed in at an even and ready 154 pounds. He is undefeated as a professional with 12 bouts, 12 victories, 11 coming by way of knockout. Wearing red, white, and gray, and hailing from Austin, Texas. Now training and fighting out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Please welcome Travell Black Magic Mazion.
Boxer, 2 seconds. Hey. Good evening, Daquan. Good evening, Travell. Gentlemen, you both know the rules. Follow my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves now. Come out fighting at the bell.
Didn't even look at each other.
Yeah, they're not going to look at each other, but the fists are going to do the talking right about now.
You like looking at your opponent when you're in there?
Yeah, I always stare down at my opponent. I want to see if he has any fear or if he showing any intimidation. I love to look in their eyes.
Mazion wasn't looking at him. He's the undefeated fighter in the red and gray. Travell Mazion, Daquan Pauldo. Pauldo used to go by the last name of Big Arnett, so that's exactly him. Changed his name last year to honor his stepfather, so he considers his father. So here he is, Daquan Pauldo. Pauldo used to be the A-side fighter. This time against Mazion, he's on the B-side, introduced first. That's got to play a little bit of a mind game, no, JoJo?
Yeah, well, Daquan said that it didn't really matter. He knows where he's at in this fight. He says that he knows that this is an opportunity that he's going to take full advantage of. He's fighting an undefeated fighter, and he's fighting a guy that is the A-side. But I don't think it's any effect to him. I know that he's 110% ready, but, I mean, they're both filling each other out, trying to establish their jabs. Travell is working his jab tremendously. He's tall, he's rangy, and he's using it. He's not banging like how he usually is.
Usually yeah, if you go on YouTube, Travell Mazion, it's let me run out as fast as I can and just throw bombs and knock dudes out. And he gets hit with the right by Pauldo. Mazion keeps that left hand down low, super low.
Yeah, he's whenever he throws his jab, he drops it right away, and Daquan, he's already countered with it with a right hand over the top. He sees the opening. Daquan's a smart fighter. Like I said before, he's a very experienced amateur, so he sees those opportunities and he sees those flaws that he's doing.
Mazion dropping the 1-2. Snapping that jab, follow with the strong right. Mazion turned pro at the age of 17 in Texas. Back in 2013. And 2015, took a break, management issues. He used to be trained with Ann Wolf. Now he has a new squad. And he's in Little Rock, Arkansas with Ozell Nelson. He changed the pace for Mazion. He said, like it, it's quiet. I can just box, that's all I focus on.
Oh, great round. Like I said before, Daquan's taking full advantage of that jab that Travell's doing, because he's throwing the jab and he's dropping. He's not protecting his chin at all with that left hand. But like I said, Travell, he's a game fighter, so Daquan can't take him lightly. He can't get too comfortable in there. It's still the first round. They still are very energetic in there, so you still got to keep your hands up and keep your guards up at all times, because Travell, he has tremendous power, and you got to watch out for it.
Yeah, the power is definitely on Mazion's side. If you look at the scouting report, the more polished boxer would be Pauldo. Mazion said he can box, but we haven't seen him because he hasn't had to, because he hasn't fought anybody that he needed to box with. Opening round scheduled for 8. Super welterweights going at it in Verona, New York on Hall of Fame weekend. Second round underway. Travell Mazion undefeated, 12-0, 11 KOs. Daquan Pauldo 17-1. His only loss coming to Eddie Gomez back in 2014, a fight that went the distance. Another Golden Boy fighter, Gomez. Pauldo, more of a polished fighter, as we were saying. Joe, you've known him from your amateur days, huh?
Yes, I did. Pauldo, we fought in the amateurs a lot. We went to dual matches in Puerto Rico, and he has a lot of international experience. So he is, I truly believe he's a better boxer tonight. But Travell, he's the stronger puncher. So I don't like the way Travell's fighting right now, because it seems like he's not putting as much torque in his punches like he usually does, because he's trying to fight on the outside and just using all arm punches right now. And Daquan's not feeling any of the shots. He's just walking him down, throwing jabs to the body, countering his jab with his right hand. So it's a good fight right now. I think they're still filling each other out. They're trying to test each other's power and test what kind of game plan they're both bringing.
Solid right hand landed by Pauldo. That woke up Mazion. That might be the first time he's ever been hit hard in his career from Mazion. The quality of opposition for Travell Mazion early in his career has not been the best. That's what happens when you're bringing up a prospect. You're going up against guys you're supposed to take care of. A big test for him tonight, for the Golden Boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz.
Daquan, he's taking full advantage of the way Travell's fighting. He's fighting the tall and lengthy, and Daquan's fighting on the inside. And whenever he is on the inside, he's landing the bigger shots. He's taking advantage of that right hand, because Travell is dropping his left hand, and he's taking full advantage of it. He's fighting tremendously on the inside, and he knows that since Travell's longer, his arms are longer, the punches are not going to come as quick for Travell than Daquan's shots.
Mazion, only 75 amateur fights, even though he started boxing at the age of 6. Didn't go to any of those big national tournaments. He was known in the Texas area, but he wasn't known outside of South Texas. Turned pro at 17, and it's been easy for him. And then the business side of him caught up a couple years ago. 2 years ago, he was driving for the parking spot at the airport in Austin, Texas. He's trying to figure out exactly how he's going to stay in the sport of boxing.
You could see the way Travell's fighting, he still has a lot of power. He's not training the shots as like he usually does because he's fighting on the outside, but when he does land effective shots on Daquan, you can tell that they're hurting him and they're effective.
Looks like he just loads up, right? Like
yeah.
There's no boxing for Mazion. Second down, winding down.
Good body shot.
I want you to stab with the jab. Okay. You reach there. Okay. Now, remember the first jab can be short, the second one, bang, on the butt. You got this sitting right here, going down to the chest. Okay, same. You got to come to you. Stay long. Stay long.
Keep going to your right.
Okay.
You'll see it come right with that straight right hand over that hook.
You should have called him out. Roll right back to 3.
He wants you to bang with him. Come on.
I like how Daquan is getting in on the bigger fighter, landing effective shots with that right hand over the top. They're both exchanging blows, but Daquan is fighting on the inside the way that he should against a taller fighter and landing some good combinations.
Travell Mazion's corner, Ozell Nelson, his trainer now. This is their third fight together. Told us right as he walked out of the fighter meeting, he's going to throw a jab. We've been working on it. Well, 2 rounds in the books. Have you seen a jab from Mazion?
He is throwing a jab, but he's not being effective with it because he's just throwing a little pitter-patter jab, but he's dropping his jab, and that is not a good sign, especially because he is the taller fighter and he's keeping his chin up. So if you're going to be using a jab, you got to make sure that either you're dipping down to the left-hand side or you're stepping back, and he's not doing that because Daquan is landing some good right hands, as you can see right now.
There's a jab. Body shot from Pauldo. I thought you were saying he just like kind of fainting at him with that jab.
Yeah, but the thing is, because
there's a good one.
Yeah, Travell, he is just fading him because maybe he is baiting them in because taller fighters, they tend to bait the smaller fighters in with that small jab before they can open up, and then that's when they land the vicious right hand. So you never know what Travell's game plan is. He is probably trying to set up Daquan where he can load up and land that vicious right hand whenever Daquan steps in.
Beto Duran, Joseph Diaz Jr., 126-pound contender, ringside of Verona, New York. Main event tonight, Diego De Loya, Jose Salgado. Right now you're watching Travell Mazion in the red and gray. He's undefeated against Daquan Pauldo, 17-1. Pauldo was very confident too when we talked to him. He's now 25, father of an 8-month-old Gabriela. And you heard the maturity in him. But he's taking the sport finally serious because for years he was taking shortcuts.
Yeah, he said that he was taking shortcuts and not taking all the opportunities for granted, he said. But now that he is much wiser, he's older, and he has a family now, he knows the opportunities that are presented to him, and he knows that he has to take full advantage. So you get to see during the fighters meeting that he is more disciplined and very focused and is ready to get this dub.
Yeah, new corner with Derek Santos at the Boca Pal in South Florida. But when a fighter comes in the meeting and tells us, yeah, I didn't like running, like, you know what you're supposed to do?
You got to run every day, man. You got to run every day.
He was taking the short, but because he was winning, he was getting away with those shortcuts.
Yeah, because he was, while he was underestimating his opponents because he knew that his opponents, he was taking them lightly because the opponents weren't that good.
And he lands a good shot against Mazion. Mazion smirks, like, nah, you didn't get me. 10 seconds to go in the third round. Travell Mazion, Daquan Pauldo. They're done feeling each other out. They're starting to let the leather fly.
side advantage to pull away from that right hand. You got to start bending down before you go. You got to come off that back foot and push forward, okay? Don't get wild when you're talking, okay? That thing's up. Coach, I'm winning. Yeah.
Can I talk? Next, yeah.
Daquan is landing effective shots on the taller fighter Travell because Travell is dropping his hands whenever he's stepping back. Travell is stepping back with his hands down, and Daquan is loading up, landing combinations because he sees Travell dropping his hands.
Our colleague on ESPN Deportes, Jessica Rosales, is dropping off a note saying that Derek Santos told Pauldo get a little bit closer so he can land that right hand with more effectiveness.
And as he should, because that is good wording from the coach, because Daquan, he's a little far back. Travell, he has a longer reach, so Daquan is a little far back to land the counter shots, because all Travell has to do is just step back, and Daquan's going to miss a shot. So he wants him to inch a little bit more closer, and once Travell throws a shot, that's when you can land an effective shot. And as you can see, he's inching a little closer, fighting a little more on the inside, and waiting for that counter shot.
Last time Mazion was in the ring, he went the distance with Evan Torres in June. First time here to stop his opponent. As you progress in your career, the fights get tougher, don't they, JoJo? The guys don't go down as easy.
Yeah, the guys don't go down as easy. Everybody, the fighters are getting tougher. The chins are getting more tougher. So you can't just rely on your power. You got to start focusing on your defense and your good combinations and a good game plan in the fight.
When did you realize that in your career, where all of a sudden you're like, huh?
I think that was probably like my 17th, 18th fight when I fought Rene Alvarado at the Forum.
Okay.
He was a tough fighter, very long, very rangy, and I was hitting him with some vicious blows, but he was just walking him down. Very tough fighter. So after that, I knew that I just can't rely on my power anymore. I got to start focusing on my defense, my craft a little more, and just being smarter than my opponent.
17, 18 fight. Mazion with 12. Pauldo in his 19th fight.
And you can see from experience that Daquan, he has the more experienced professional IQ. Travell, he's been knocking out his opponent, so he hasn't been to that point where he hits his opponent and the opponent is able to withstand his shots. And he's learning that tonight. I mean, Daquan, he's took a couple of Travell's hard shots, his hard right hands, and didn't phase him as much as all his opponents has got phased by.
Mazion trying to figure out Pauldo, who's been got job moving, staying with him. Pauldo keeps trying to hit him on that body shot.
Yeah, Pauldo, he's landing some good body shots, breaking down the taller fighter as well.
But they're sweeping though, those body
Yeah, they're
shots.
sweeping, yeah, but they're still landing on the body. So those shots are still very effective.
Good match between Travell Mazion, Daquan Pauldo, Hall of Fame weekend, Verona, New York, Turning Stone Resort Casino.
They say the fight pass is the fight. What they say? What you hear?
Fifth round of action scheduled for 8. Travell Mazion realizing it's a little bit harder as your competition increases, because Daquan Pauldo, this one pretty even through 4. Mazion usually has that high motor coming out, attacking his opponent, but Pauldo's sticking with him, giving him different angles.
Travell's coming with a different game plan this round. He has his hands up now, and he's being the aggressor this fight. I think he's going to start relying on his power, seeing if he can knock out Daquan.
Turning Stone Resort Casino Hall of Fame weekend. Vitaly Klitschko, Winky Wright, and Terrible Eric Morales going in, class of 2018. Beautiful weekend, kicking it off with some boxing. Oh, who's who in attendance? Hagler, Hearns, Tyson.
All the legends are here tonight.
Marco Antonio Barrera. Joseph Diaz Jr., maybe one day.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, you even said that. You're looking around like a little kid. Like, I used to watch him on YouTube.
I was all starstruck.
Way to sound young.
Travell's coming in with a different game plan this round, and he's being more effective. He's standing there a little more, landing an effective jab, keeping his hand up, and being more defensively, but also offensively as well. And he's doing well this round.
Kind of want to see more activity, though, from Daquan, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but I think Daquan, he started to feel Travell's power, so he's being a little more cautious in there because he knows that Travell came in with a different game plan this round, so I think he's just trying to fill that out and trying to adjust to that type of style.
Especially at this division, 154. Both of them came under the 153, but speaking with Golden Boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz, saying, you know, these guys come out looking good. We can definitely move them both fast. Good hook,
great
landed.
Oh,
moving around.
They both exchanged hits.
Yeah.
It looked like Daquan got the best of Travell.
Some blood from the mouth of Daquan Pauldo. Actually, even with the percentage of the total punches, how this fight has been. Now it's starting to pick up.
Oh, great exchange. Great exchange.
Ron saying no. Gets hit again. Slips another. Referee Charlie Fitch trying to break him with 30 seconds to go in the fifth.
Ooh, nice
right hand from Mazion. Body shot from Mazion again.
Daquan is trying to get on the inside and trying to land effective blows, and he's doing it, but Travell, he's stepping back. He's taking a little inch back before he can land effective blows, and he's landing those right hands and landing good combinations because he is taking a little step back because he is a taller fighter, so he's able to use that reach and that distance.
Daquan Pauldo, good one. Great in New York.
Step in with the second. Hey, if you throw a double jab, straight, make that right push straight down the pipe on him. Blind him with the jab, bam, bam, right hand, straight down the pipe. Lift up the body.
Yep, lift the body against the body.
Okay, I'm saying?
Turn out.
Step towards it. Double jab, that's all he's gonna do is like this here. Double jab, go straight right hand down the pipe, come back with the left hook down to the body. Okay? Turn out.
How you feel? Good.
Enjoy on the turn.
Double it down, that blind.
When you're the taller fighter, you're supposed to land punches whenever the shorter fighter is opening up, and that is what Travell did. He's seen Daquan open up, and he shot a sneaky right hand and landed it and was effective with it. So he's doing very well now. That round, he looked impressive. His corner told him to start throwing double jabs and landing a straight right hand right down the pipe. So I'd like to see if he's going to listen to his corner.
Yeah, pick up the pace from Mazion, who you mentioned early in his career would just come out like a Tasmanian devil, just 1,000 miles an hour, throwing a bunch of punches all wild. And they were landing, knocking dudes out. So now he's learned to box, to take his time, that he doesn't have to rush anymore. Well, here he is in the 6th round for the 2nd time in his career. See if he listens to the corner and picks it up. Mazion fighting in front of Tommy Hearns tonight. And that's the comparison from the way that his body is built. Not saying he's Tommy Hearns, but has that look, that style.
Yeah, very long, very rangy, very powerful as well.
They got excited when we told them Tommy was going to be in attendance.
Who wouldn't be?
We also got excited. Joseph Diaz Jr. was in the room. Daquan is in that corner in a weird spot, isn't he? He's keeping his head low.
Yeah, now he's keeping his hands down. It looks like Daquan got a little tired and a little fatigued. Travell, he's putting that pressure, he's walking him down, and then whenever Daquan is trying to open up, all Travell's doing is stepping back. So Daquan, he's putting that pressure, dictating the pace, landing effective jabs, and sometimes even landing right hands, and he's winning this round as well because he is being the aggressor and landing some good combinations.
Pauldo, for the first time in his career, utilized a strength and conditioning coach 100%. You know, in the past, he's always worked out, but a dedicated coach who worked with him on boxing. He said his conditioning is great, but you're noticing that he might be a little tired.
Yeah, he is. Either he's getting tired or he's getting a little frustrated from that jab that Travell's throwing, because Travell, he's throwing a little soft jab and then he throws a hard jab as well, so you don't know what punch is coming.
He's sparring with Boo Boo Andrade for this fight with Pauldo. And he also had a big break in his career. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to do. Called his good friend Earl Spence in Texas, went and lived with Earl as he was getting ready for the Kell Brook fight. Lived with him for 7 months. That ignited the spark in boxing. I can see it where you guys, since you're little kids, you're in the gym every single day. It's hard to stay motivated.
Yeah, it is hard to stay motivated because you're constantly working out and your body's taking a beating and a toll. So it's hard to stay motivated, but what has to motivate you the most is you got to be self-motivated. Not only that, you got to start thinking about your family, thinking about what's boxing going to do for yourself later on down the line in your career.
Mazion sneaks in a good left hook to wrap up the 6th round.
Deep breath. Look at me.
He ain't doing shit.
Look at me though. We gave him that round. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't stand there and watch him tap you, tap you, tap you, tap you, tap you. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be outworking him, okay? You understand? We need to get right back into the rhythm you were in the beginning of the fight. You understand? All right? Don't be waiting on anything. You're waiting, all right? He ain't doing nothing, he just went around not doing nothing. You understand?
Okay. Boogie, baby. I got you.
Let's go, bro. Come on.
Derek Santos with the very truthful advice. You're waiting for Daquan Pauldo.
Yeah, he is waiting. He's letting Travell engage with, you know, the pitter-patter jabs and then setting up his shots with the right hands. Pauldo, he has to start being the aggressor like how he was in the early rounds, just like the trainer said, because Travell's not landing very effective shots, but he's winning the rounds because he is being more aggressive and throwing those shots and being more, you know, active during that round.
In control is Travell Mazion in the red and gray. Fighting in the 7th round for the first time in his career. Gone 6 once. Most of the other times it was either first round KOs. With 3 a couple times. So
yeah, I like how Travell, he's still calm, very patient, keeping his composure, not letting the pressure or, you know, those combinations or those punches of Daquan get to him. He's still fighting his game plan, still fighting his fight, and is relaxing there. He's starting to win the rounds.
now you see more combinations from Mazion. Black Magic is his nickname. We give it to him as an amateur because the way he was eluding punches. Uppercut from Mazion. Body shot from Mazion. Haven't seen much of that tonight.
No, but the thing about Mazion, he those little tap shots to set you up with the hard shot. See how he like lands a little pitter-patter combinations, but then he throws a hard body shot, or he lands a little straight right hand like that, but then he's going to throw a hard stiff jab or a hard, there it is, the uppercut. See that? He's adding some good combinations because he's setting him up by just tapping him.
But he eats a right, shakes his shoulders like, oh.
What a fight. It's good.
Acting like it didn't hurt, but Jojo, you know when a guy's moving like that.
Yeah, once people start smiling and stuff, you know that that punch got to you. It's kind of effective, so.
It's like, you don't want to say, hey, that was
ain't
good.
fooling anybody.
You don't want to say, you got me. You don't want to say that, but you got me.
Yes.
Less than a minute to go in the 7th round. A much better round for Daquan Pauldo.
I like the work that Travell's doing right now. He's still landing those pitter-patter shots and then lands a hard shot. He's throwing some straight right hands, landing effective jabs. He's doing really well this round.
It's like he's in third gear, though. You know he has a couple extras.
Yeah, I think he's going to pick it up the next round because it is going to be the last round, so they're both going to give it all they got.
Is that just that confidence that Mazion has?
Yeah, it's the confidence that he has because I don't think he feels Daquan's punches anymore.
Yeah, he's taken 2 good shots from Pauldo and he shrugged them off.
Yeah, they don't look like they're being effective anymore. In the earlier rounds, Daquan's punches were effective on Travell, but right now it don't look like it's being effective anymore. So Travell's just brushing it off and using his jab again.
They look good. They get the reaction from the crowd. It doesn't look like Mazion's being phased.
This round could go either way.
Hey, last round. Last round. Come on. Just break him down and get him by here. Come on. We sit on that hook. You step over there. Sit down on it. Okay.
You landed it, but you ain't going your way.
Don't go back. Don't go back to the
Sit down. Here at Turning Stone, it's time to make some noise on Hall of Fame.
Last round. Get him out of there.
This round number 8, the 8th and final round.
Still stay. Let's go. Yeah, but still stay behind that jam. All right.
Hands up. Hands up.
Okay.
Great exchanges from the two. You can see Travell landing a good uppercut, good right hand, and then following up with the hook. But Daquan's still landing some good shots as well because Travell's still dropping his hands, but Travell got the best of that exchange.
8th and final round. The first time that Travell Mazion will get to the 8th in his career. Daquan Pauldo, he's been there a couple times. He has experience here. And he's coming out with the aggression. I feel like a fighter who thinks he's behind on the cards.
Yeah, I think they both think that they're behind on the cards because it's an even fight right now. It's an even fight, so they're both going to give it all they got this round. They know that there's a lot at stake, so they just got to go out and prove to the judges who's the better fighter.
This is the kind of fight we expect, at least the action we expected early on from them. Especially the way that Golden Boy has their schedule set up for the rest of the year. They can easily move quickly. In a division that's, you have some names out there. I'm not saying that you could be fighting for a title anytime soon, but within a year maybe.
Yeah, there's some good names
with
in this weight division, so it's just about staying active and getting the fights that you need. See how Travell's still keeping his composure. He knows that Daquan is getting a little desperate in there. He's opening up a little too much. He's not countering as much as he should. He's just lunging in and throwing shots instead of trying to set him up. See how he's lunging in, and Travell's taking full advantage by landing a stiff jab, landing some step back right hands, and taking full advantage of his length and his distance.
We were told that Mazion had improved his boxing. It's right there. There's some blood from the mouth of Mazion. Pauldo's landed some shots, but there's not much pop behind him. He's not willing to stand there. A minute to go in the fight. Mazion still bouncing around.
Yeah, Daquan has to be a little more aggressive because he's losing this round. He's letting this fight get away from him because he's not being aggressive as much as he should right now. It is the last round. You know that it's a tough
step
fight.
on it, right?
Yeah, you got to step on it, man. You got to bite down and start fighting. There it is. Good right hand. See, that was a good counter right hand from Daquan.
But it's one at a time.
But it's only one at a time. Yeah, you should. After that shot, you should probably throw a couple body shots on the inside.
That's what you would want to see from Daquan more of tonight, because he was able to land a right hand.
He was in the beginning of the fight. He was landing some good shots, landing some good body shots in the beginning of the fight. But then after that, it looked like Travell was more composed in there and started coming with a different game plan, switched it up a little bit, but then started fighting on the outside again. Good combination.
Good fight, fun fight. Travell Mazion, Daquan Pauldo. We're going to go the distance on Hall of Fame weekend. As Pauldo puts his hand up, they shake hands. They didn't look at each other in the beginning of the fight. Travell Mazion, they both go to the corner. They stand up on Hall of Fame weekend. Hall of Fame weekend in Verona, New York. Who's who of boxing in attendance? Irish Mickey Ward, fan favorite. Lights out, James Tony. Magic Man, Antonio Tarver. Need some love. That's just some of the boxers in attendance tonight. Let's look at the highlights from our opening bout with Travell Mazion and Daquan Pauldo.
Highlights. You can see that Travell was using his length, landing some good combinations on the outside, landing good right hands, establishing his jab. Daquan started getting the best of him in the beginning of the fight, but seemed like Travell started adapting and adjusting to Daquan's style and landed some effective shots.
Yeah, the punch stats thrown brought to you by Tecate. You know, they're even the percentage-wise, but you saw a much busier Travell Mazion tonight.
Yes, it was an even fight. I personally thought it was an even fight. Daquan started winning the earlier rounds, but Travell, he started adjusting, started using his length, started using his distance a lot more, and started picking it up and winning the later rounds. So it was a close fight, 50-50 fight, I thought.
A close fight. Let's see what the judges had to say as our man in the ring, Mark Fratto, has the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Turning Stone, let's get a big Hall of Fame weekend round of applause for these two warriors. Having gone all 8 rounds, we now go to the judges' scorecards. Judges John McKay and Kevin Morgan scored the contest 77-75. Judge Eric Marlinsky saw it 78-74. All 3 judges in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, and still undefeated from Austin, Texas, Travell Black Magic Mazion.
Winner by unanimous decision, Travell Mazion. Second time in his career, he doesn't go and knock out his opponent, but a big learning experience for him. As Mazion, got a little bit of booze around here, but you can see some, the face doesn't exactly show like a fighter who's too excited.
Yeah, I mean, it was Travell's second win by unanimous decision. You can't knock out everybody, and this was a good learning experience for both fighters, but for Travell, because now he knows that he has to go back to the drawing board, got to go back to training and start boxing and start focusing on more boxing and start trying to rely on the power as much. He did well this fight. He started fighting on the outside, started using his right hands and being effective with it. It was a good, solid win for him, and now it's on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, the biggest test of his career. He goes, talks to Mike Tyson. victory for Travell Mazion. A busy weekend of boxing